What's going on, y'all? Side Perspectives, giofvcks. And I haven't made a video like this in a minute because, you know, I've actually been having some good moments and some positivity and, you know, some breakthroughs in my therapy and my life. And I will be doing a video discussing the breakthroughs and stuff and like how I'm feeling. But I haven't made a video discussing toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic behaviors, especially within a family, familiar setting, and pertaining to the black community, to the black family, to people of color families, to families in general, and a parental family structure. So, anyways, so let's talk about it. You ever notice when you're dealing with a narcissistic, toxic individual, dysfunctional individual, but in particular narcissistic, emotionally unavailable, or just very possessive and controlling people, if you give another person more attention, or they feel that you are giving attention, energy, resources, supply, love, support, affection, whatever, if they feel that you're giving that to somebody else, they immediately get into this very much possessive, controlling, almost competition mode, right? Where it's like, whoa, on this side, the narcissist, the toxic, dysfunctional person. On the other side, your friends, your family, other family members, other friends, your job, you know, self-care time, your hobbies, whatever. And they're always in competition because it's like they don't know what it's like to share. They don't recognize that there's other people in your life or other things that you have going on in your life that you have to balance out your time and energy where it can be, you know. And then if they don't do that, the next thing that I've noticed they'll do is they'll try to ruin your mood or your day because you're spending time with somebody else or you're doing something else that doesn't include them or involve them. Again, when everything's not evolved around them, the narcissist comes out, right? Like, you know, they're really good. I am doing a video. They're really good at hiding this mask and playing all these different personalities. Like, if you think I'm playing, seriously, let you have another friend or a family member or, you know, a hobby, or you got to go to work, or you got something else going on, and it doesn't include the narcissistic person, the dysfunctional, toxic, the controlling, possessive person. Watch them have a whole flip out and try to do something or say something to ruin your mood, you know. And then also talk about how they use text messages to continue this verbal abuse and verbal assault. Like, and I talk about this from a familiar standpoint because I deal with this in my own family, right? You know, and let's put a disclaimer. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I am healing and working on me. I have toxicities and toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic traits and behaviors, you know, emotionally unavailable traits and behaviors, codependent traits and behaviors that I'm healing and working on. So I'm not sitting up here continuing to project that shit off onto other people. But it's a work in progress. I've been on this self-care journey for almost 3 years. I still have a long way to go, right? But I'm holding myself accountable, right? But, disclaimer, you know, I love my grandmother, I love my mother, I love my uncle, I love my family. I love my friends, you know, I care about them deeply, right? I'm here because of them. I wouldn't be who I am without them, right? I totally recognize and honor that. And at the same time, you can't help but notice as you go through therapy and counseling and you're working on yourself and you're checking your own shit, you see the toxicity right before your eyes. I mean, it's textbook. And a lot of us are getting ready to deal with this because it's what? Holiday season! And I do hope and suggest and recommend that you get vaccinated, wear a mask, get vaccinated, wash your hands, take your vitamin C, your vitamin D, add more fruits and vegetables, drink water, exercise, Seriously, I highly suggest those things. I can't tell you what to do. I can't force you to do anything, but I highly suggest those things. But we're going to be dealing with family, and you already know how that tends to be during the holidays. A lot of people don't recognize how holidays are like really PTSD for a lot of people. Oh my goodness, it is depressing. It is sad. People go through so much like during the holiday season because people come from very dysfunctional, toxic, abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive, sexually abusive, financially abusive, toxic families and environments. Not to mention that so many people have lost family members. People have died and passed away. So there's so many various reasons why the holiday season is very triggering for some, right? For many, for most, right? So I understand. But back to what I was saying, like, they'll use text messages as well, like to verbally assault. So say you get off the phone, right? Because a lot of us that are dealing with toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic, abusive people, we're learning how to do what? Gray rock, boundaries, we're learning how to just not engage with the toxic person. Regardless if they're narcissistic or a person dealing with narcissistic personality disorder or not. We're all learning, all right, I'm not going to put all my energy and resources and get all bent out of shape, so I'm just going to end this phone call. Click. Now, with technology, they're coming through other methods of verbal assault. Now they're coming through text messages and also saying and typing some of the most horrible shit, but now it's via text instead of audio. And don't let them learn if they have an iPhone. And I'm sure they can do this on Android as well. They can send audio text where it's their voice. So it's like, oh my God. But yeah, I will be verbally assaulted via text message. And it's always, guilt, shame, put downs. And this is how she's been, my grandmother. But here's the thing. This is the sad part. This is a common behavior in the community. Okay, a lot of people deal with this with their mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers and sisters and brothers and siblings and parents and guardians and aunts and friends. This is a very toxic trait and behavior that is literally seen as the norm. Oh, that's just how mama is, that's how granny is, that's just how daddy is, that's just how such and such is. And no, this is toxic and dysfunctional. All right, like, why do you get upset when people spend time with other people or have other things going on in their life that doesn't revolve around you? And then why do you always have to make people feel like shit and, belittle them and degrade them and disrespect them and put them down and make fun of them and make them feel like shit? But then these are also supposed to be the same people that you supposedly love and care about and would do anything for, but yet you treat them really horrible. You say and do some really shady shit. And don't get me wrong, yes, you do a lot of great things and you support and you love and you've provided and you've raised us, but we also should not be getting talked to like this and disrespected. Like, it's just so much. And again, this is what toxic relationships are. You have these really small moments of love, joy, happiness, bliss, and then you have a lot of moments of craziness, dysfunction, instability, abuse, violence, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's like you're on this roller coaster from hell. And that's unfortunately normalized. And I think for a lot of us, whether you're a Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, baby boomer, what have you, a lot of people are working to break these generational cycles and curses because a lot of us see for ourselves how detrimental this is in our own physical, mental state, but also in our families and our friend groups and our communities in the world, in society, in the world, globally at large. And mental health has to be a priority, and we need to heal, but we also need to hold people accountable. Like, you cannot treat people this way. And then again, you think about how these family relationship styles end up reflecting into our romantic, platonic relationships and other relationships, our business, your professional relationship. Like, you get acquainted to what you grew up around. This isn't saying that you can't break the cycle and make changes, But it's hard for people to break cycles and make changes when this is repeated. So wouldn't it just be easier to start off with a clean slate or a damn near clean slate? So that's what I'm saying. We really have to break these cycles, because a lot of this toxic shit, that these relationships, this, passive aggressive, controlling, possessive, putting people down, hating and being negative towards other people, wishing bad on other people, talking about people, making fun of people, all of this shit are just negative coping mechanisms for something, and it's projection. And then my thing is, what gets to be about a lot of narcissistic, toxic, dysfunctional people, they're extremely codependent, right? Like, they feed and need other people, but then they sit up and they push everybody away because of their behaviors. Nobody wants to be around you because you make everyone feel like shit. You put everybody down. You drain everybody. You take all of the fun. You suck the fun out, man. Like, there's no fun. There's no joy. There's no happiness. And then when there is moments of joy and happiness, it's all about what you want and how it's controlled. If you don't have the final say and say so, then nobody else can be a part of the joy. So you control everything. And then you wonder why people don't want to be bothered. I mean, and a lot of these people who act like this, there's no self-awareness. They don't believe that they're the problem. They don't see how they've contributed to the way things are for them. And I feel like that's all of us, to a smaller, medium, lesser extent. We're people who are extremely narcissistic or have narcissistic personality disorder. Keep in mind, disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional. Okay, this is based off of my opinion and some research that I've done personally. Information is in the description box below. And how you can find a psychologist, a therapist, all of that is in the description box below. And boom, air fryer is complete. But I'm just saying, that's that triangulation, that's that deflection, that's that gaslighting, that's that crazy making. All of that is happening. You got to protect yourself. It is the holiday season, so we already know we don't have to. Boundaries, gray rock. If that means you only spend an hour over there, then you only spend an hour over there for the family get together. If you're on the phone and they start going in, hey, I'm gonna have to get off the phone now. Click. Or I'm only gonna be on the phone for 15 to 20 minutes. You really gotta figure out ways to protect you and your mental, because you know how it is out here. Okay, so I just wanted to say that real quick. Not for the rated on everybody parade, starting arguments, talking bad about people. We're not dealing with that. Anyways, I'm out. Y'all be safe. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Get a flu shot. Be careful. Wash your hands. Take your vitamins. Eat good, balance your meals with the fruits and the veggies and the water. The fruits and the veggies and the water. But seriously, do what you can to take care of you, your family, your friends, your community.